Hello, everyone. Welcome to The Pulse. We have another exciting episode about our North Dakota legislative session. So let's get into it. There are two bills I want to talk about tonight. They're going to be SB 666 and SB 6669, both of which were introduced into the Senate on the 27th. That was the last day for our lawmakers to submit testimony, so they got it in under the nick of the gun. I am presenting these two bills as they both relate to gender in different ways. The first bill to talk about is Senate Bill 2666. This was introduced to prevent the sale or distribution of seedless fruit. To quote one of the lawmakers who introduced it, seedless watermelons are unnatural abominations that go against nature. Life is about reproduction, and every watermelon deserves a chance to have children, little watermelon children. This bill seeks to impose a criminal penalty on farmers who grew seedless watermelons and fines to those who sold them. When asked about the necessity of this bill, the sponsors talked about the sanctity of life, as the quote implied, but also specifically that life begins at conception. Even watermelon life begins at conception. All things begin at conception. And if there aren't seeds within those watermelons, it can be hard to tell, which gametes we're dealing with, and it's hard to sex the watermelons correctly. So this is one of those important bills to continue to uphold those definitions of sex that we find so important in North Dakota. Senate Bill 2669 is very similar, introduced by Senator Wabama. This one prohibits the sale of Hungry Man dinners to anyone who is not genetically male, is what the bill says. There is an appropriations attached to this bill to allow all of our grocery stores to install rapid DNA testing, so we can assure that no one goes through the line to purchase Hungry Man if they are not someone with XY chromosomes. Some immediate questions people have about this is, what if I were to pay a man to go in to buy those dinners and for him to give them to me? And right now it seems like there isn't much actual penalty for this. There doesn't appear to be a felony attached to people who are buying Hungry Men dinners, but it is always possible that that would be amended when it's actually heard within the committee. Another thing of interest within this bill is that there aren't any Hungry Woman TV dinners, so the equity of it does seem rather strange. But it is possible we could divide all store items into XX and XY in particular, which would justify then the cost of having rapid DNA testing at all grocery stores. It's worth noting some romantic languages do gender that language, so certain objects can have a feminine or masculine gender to them, and this could be helpful when we decide how to sort apples, oranges, mac and cheese, all of those things to figure out the proper place for the actual sex and gender of these items to be. As we continue to uphold incredibly stringent gender norms, we have to reflect on how very useful they are to our society. When asked about the necessity of this, as we often do with lawmakers introducing bills, Wobbleman did say that it was for safety for women. He believed that Hungry Man posed too large of a meal requiring too epic of an appetite, that you would need testosterone levels in the 500 to 800 range to even start to consume a meal like this. And if a cisgender woman were to try to attempt this, she could be hurt. There's some cases of cisgender women attempting to eat Hungry Man dinners and choking while doing so. So it's unclear how many cis women might die if we don't offer these protections. So this is two of the bills coming forward. We are close to the end of the bills that we might hear this session. Given that there's still time to submit resolutions up until February 10th, there's a chance we could see more bills targeting gender or trying to codify sex as a binary across North Dakota in further ways. One such way is they could have a bill that would codify things like cars and boats as women, just within the realm of law, as we try to continue to codify a lot of life into this very strict binary. However, in fairness, we could think about other things as men, which raises several important questions like, are tractors men? This is going to be the interesting and useful conversations that North Dakota continues to have around this subject. But that's all I have time to cover tonight, so I hope that you enjoyed it. And then tomorrow we'll be looking at all the bad bills that are happening. I hope you tune in for that, and otherwise have a good night, and yay democracy!